So tell me, how did you find out about the Aphasia Center?
I wasn't happy with the speech therapy he was getting at home. My insurance case manager had looked and could not find any more. Everybody only wanted to offer 1 or 2 days a week. There's just not enough support and speech therapy for aphasia patients. You know, if they've got physical disabilities and things like that, there's an enormous amount. So I just got on the internet and started looking, and then I found the Aphasia Center and what they offered, you know, like 5 days a week, intense therapy. And I read the website and I watched some of the videos of some of the other patients, and I just knew that this is where we needed to come. My husband he was energetic. He was wanting to get better. We wanted him to speak more appropriately. He was gaining words, but they weren't always appropriate to the conversation. He couldn't text any of his buddies anymore. He did a lot of texting with all of his buddies. He couldn't do that. He couldn't read. He could look at a sentence and pick out 1, maybe 2 key words and try to figure out what the sentence was. He couldn't have a conversation. You know, I miss my husband. He's my best friend, and we couldn't have a conversation anymore. We couldn't talk about anything, the kids, even just what happened at work. We wanted to get some of that back.
So now, having gone through the program, are there moments that you remember that you go, we couldn't do that before, or he couldn't do that before?
There's so much that he couldn't do before that he can do now. He can read sentences and actually read the words and say the words out loud that you know he's reading them. He can speak in short sentences, so we can have a conversation now. His memory is better. You can ask him something or tell him to do something and he can remember it, versus just one task. He can do 2 or 3 now. He can text short sentences, you know, 3 or 4 word sentences now. And when he writes, he can write like 4 to 6 word sentences now. His comprehension is better. I don't have to, if we were at home at the house, I would have to say his name, get him to look at me, and then tell him whatever it was I was trying to convey. Now I can just be talking in the room, and we don't even have to be in the same room, and he knows I'm talking to him and he knows what I'm saying. It's just so much better. There's a big difference. His vocabulary has increased so much, and now he can look at something, and if he can't say it or doesn't know how to read it, he has the tools to figure it out. He can sit down and he can break the word up. He knows how to do that now. He knows what a verb is now. He knows what a noun is. He knows what the sentence structure should be. You know, they've retaught him all of that. Completely taught him immensely. You know, he can use his computer, the laptop now, and he can search for things, and there's so much more that he can do now that he couldn't when we came.
Yep. So then lastly, would you recommend intensive aphasia treatment to somebody who could?
Yes, and I already have. You know, I've talked about it on social media and other websites, and you know, anybody that has aphasia from whatever reason, not even necessarily a stroke, they need to come here.